This one question came up to me in the book, and I think it really is the cornerstone question from the book. And that is, who is the most important hero we should have in our life?
Yeah, I share the story in my book about one of my executive MBA students who was in his late 30s, early 40s, doing really well in private equity, and how he shared very heartwarming and beautiful way with our class how he really struggled with cancer when he was growing up and got healed from it when he was 14, went back to school, but it struck him again a year and a half later. And this time he just felt that he was on his knees and he just was giving up and he just didn't have it in him to keep fighting the fight again. And at that point, his mother, he says, came up to him and held his hand and said, "My son, there's a story I've never shared with you about your father. I've told you so many stories about him. The only way you know about him is through stories because you never met him because he died before you were born. But I never shared this story with you." And there was this one day, and it was my birthday, and he came home very excited. He wanted to give me a very special surprise and a gift, and takes me in the car 20 miles away, and it's a car dealership, and it's this car that he's going to buy for me. It's the car of my dreams, and he saved so much money to make that happen quietly without my knowledge over the years. And now this was the moment. And we bought the car, but then instead of driving in two separate cars, we just wanted to drive together in our car, old car. And so we tethered the new car bumper to bumper behind with a chain. And as we were driving, he ended up pausing and stopping the car because the chain was getting a little loose. And as he got out to correct the chain, bang, this truck hit the back of the new car and he got crushed between the two cars and he died right there on the spot.
Oh my.
And so the mother is telling this student of mine as he's a teenager trying to recover from his cancer, and she's saying that in that moment, she said, "I just lost all meaning for life. I lost all motivation for life." And I was on an impulse just going to open the passenger side door and just walk into the highway myself and invite life to take me also out, just as it had taken my darling husband out. And she said, "But in that moment, I felt this kick in my womb. And it was you, because I was expecting you at that time. And I just felt it was as if like you were telling me, like, hey, mom, don't do that. We've lost something really precious, your husband and my father. And that's not going to be a loss that we'll ever recover from. And yet, on the other hand, we have each other and we have the rest of our life together. And we will make meaning out of it. We will find our strength and we will make this life still rewarding for us. And so don't do that. Don't take our life right now by going out there." And she said, "That day you were my hero and you turned it around for me. And there have been so many times over the course of these last 15 odd years that I've had you as my child, that you have been my hero. You've been the source of my strength and what have you." And then he looks at all of us, a student of mine who's now, like I said, in his late 30s, early 40s, when he's sharing the story. And he says, "Look, I want you all to know that we search for heroes on the outside, but we should search for the hero on the inside, because just like I have been for my mother, you have been a hero for so many in your life too, and continue to be." And he says, "I got so aroused by that when my mother said that, I started to fight the cancer again. And sure enough, a year later, I was finally back in school again. And I never looked back since. Cancer has never come back to me. And here I am living a healthy and very blessed life thus far," and all of that. And so this message from him, what look for the hero within, I think is what I took away from that story. This idea that we all search for heroes, we want heroes, we share hero stories, we watch movies with heroes, because when we engage with those stories and those heroes, we walk in their shoes. Their story becomes our story because it's inherent in this hunger is then each of our lives wanting to be a hero, wanting to be a hero. And we should be, rightfully so, because each of us has that capacity and the potential and invitation from life. And so, yeah, I think to me, the most important hero in my life, as I know it must be, John, for you in your journey, and that for all of us should be, is the hero lying in waiting within, waiting to be stirred, waiting to be taken in some kind of way by you on an invitation to go on some beautiful journey in our lives.